Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild, all his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off, online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, and with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Well, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and today's episode we are joined by a very special guest, current professional hockey player Logan Lambdin of the Chicago Wolves of the American Hockey League. Logan has spent his professional career mainly in the East Coast Hockey League with the Kalamazoo Wings. Also has been having a stint with the American Hockey League Chicago Wolves this season, but he also had a stint in the Michigan Independence Hockey League with the Gaylord Snow in the 2020-21 season. So prior to turning pro, Logan spent time in the United States Hockey League and the North American Hockey League, as well as 4 years with Michigan State University for Division I college hockey. So this is gonna be a fun episode, Logan. So welcome to the show, Logan Lambdin.
How's it going, Jack?
Going good. Just nice, relaxing day today. Off day for me today, so can't really complain. How about you?
Pretty much the same. We had a nice optional skate this morning, and just moved hotel rooms, and I'm about to go move another one after this.
Living the suitcase life, I see, huh?
Oh yeah,
Best life, but like you've been having like a crazy busy weeks moving back from Chicago to Kalamazoo constantly. So like how's like you like before we started recording, like you said you're loving it, like it's a lot of fun. It's like what has that been like in the craziness that involves with pro hockey?
it's been wild. Literally the whole journey. Just going day by day, not knowing what's going on. It makes you live life a little bit different. I've literally been living out of a suitcase, like you've been saying, and just packed up, and you never know when you're gonna head back.
Yeah, just take it one day at a time, and whatever happens, happens. You just gotta be in the moment when you're in whether you're in Chicago, whether you're in Kalamazoo, wherever, you just gotta live in the moment.
Literally, that's all you got to do.
Yeah, but I definitely want to jump into like your pro career a little bit here. But before we do that, I want to get into like your youth hockey days a little bit here. So you grew up in Michigan and Wyandotte, Michigan. I probably mispronounced that, but like what's it been like growing up throughout Michigan and Michigan hockey?
It's been a lot of fun. You gotta see a lot of good hockey with Michigan State. Um, you got the Wings, the Griffins, a bunch of pro hockey all over the state, and it's been a lot of fun. From playing in northern Michigan to southeast Michigan, all over. Um, yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah, and like just Michigan is such a big hockey state, and it's also a big state as well. So like I like just from growing up, or going throughout the middle of this year, like I've seen literally probably every part of Michigan so far, and we've only played like 2 games, and like I've seen like both sides of Michigan, so it's definitely a pretty state and beautiful, like beautiful sights all around.
Oh yeah, with the sites, I mean, there's a ton of them. It's unbelievable from northern Michigan up in the UP. You know, there's so much to see.
Yeah, absolutely. But you grew up with Victory Honda as well as Bell Tire, growing throughout those organizations. So what were those organizations like, especially since they are like high caliber organizations in Michigan?
Oh, they were great. You know, playing a bit against some of like the best kids in Michigan, there was a lot of great talent growing up, and yeah, it was tons of competition down in that area for teams. And I mean there was only 5 teams growing up really in AAA between Bell Tire, Honda, Caesars, CompuAir, and Honey Baked. I mean it was very there were a ton of good teams growing up, and
Yeah,
they're hard to make.
yeah, absolutely. Like those are like five like top tier programs that you hear going throughout Michigan. It's just those five teams. Like there's tons more now, but like those are the five that come to mind when you think of Michigan hockey.
Yeah, it's crazy how many there are now. There's and I hope that doesn't start watering the game down at all.
Yeah.
But it's still you know still good hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. But like going throughout these organizations, like what have been some of your favorite memories, especially going throughout AAA?
My biggest memories are mainly when it comes around to like tryout seasons, all that. Just because I was really short growing up, really short and scrawny, so I wasn't really the cream of the crop, you'd say.
Yeah.
So it was like every year, it was like just a grind to find a team, especially at AAA. I played a lot of my youth days playing AA, and it was crazy because like all those teams were so good every year, and since I was so small, it was just like, hey, you're too short. Sorry, you're too short. Sorry. It was just it was a grind, but it made me a better person, better player in the long run. So
Yeah. So like what do you learn throughout like those like when you have coaches telling you you're too small, you're small, you're this, that, like just to go throughout AAA, college, juniors, and now you're in the American League right now and you're listed at 5'8" on Elite Prospects.
yeah, it's really what drives me. Every every day when I'm playing, I think of this. When I was in it was 6th grade, one of my teachers told me, we were doing a little project. What do you want to be when you grow up? And I said I wanted to be a professional hockey player. And my teacher told me, pick something realistic. You're never going to be a professional hockey player.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what's drove me. And I can't wait for the day to go back and just politely tell her, thanks for being my fuel.
Yeah. I love that. Not the teacher that's saying that, but like just to have that like that fuel to the fire because like I'm in the same boat. Like I'm 5'10", 5'11", like so like I'm small for a goalie and like I've been told that plenty of times and it's just can't wait to go back and be like, ha, like
Yeah,
nicely of course, but like ha, I proved you wrong. Thanks for fueling the fire there. But like just to have
yeah.
that drive and that like energy to keep going, especially when it does get tiring when people keep saying that and it gets like your mindset down a little bit.
Oh, 100%. But it shapes you into what you are, and like you said, it puts the fuel in the fire under the fire, and it drives you. And same thing, like growing up through tryouts, like man, I one coach particular for CompuAir, I remember like every meet, it was like 3 years in a row I went to his tryout, and every year was you're too short, you're too short, sorry, you're too short, sorry, and I can picture it every time I think about it.
Yeah, that's great to have that like memory and everything to just keep going, like have that like fuel the fire like in your memory just to keep going. But it's like if you have a dream, might as well go for it. Like does like teachers like that's too unrealistic. But if you have a goal and you have a dream, go for it. Who cares what other people think?
100%.
Yeah,
If
and that yeah.
you can do it, honestly, you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So true that you can just go for it. So then after your AAA days, you go into the North American Hockey League with the Port Huron Fighting Falcons. So what was the process like to find the Fighting Falcons in the NAL?
That just popped up honestly out of the blue. That one was crazy. I was at some USHL tryouts, and I made it to the year that Indy Fuel won it their last year in the league.
Yeah.
I was at their camp, and Port Huron was there watching. So I had a really good camp. I made it to the last like the All-Star game, and then I got let go at the All-Star game. And because they were sick. They were a deep team. They had literally everyone. They're nasty. And and then after that, I they called me like, "Hey, we want you to come to our camp." I had a really good camp there. Ended up getting called to their main camp, and then made the team out of the main camp. And I mean, I just I was hot at the right time at the end of the summer, and I cruised through the camps, and it ended up being perfect. Just everything folded out right.
Yeah, sometimes that's all you need is to everything be going right as soon as you go into that camp and you're just flying, you're buzzing throughout that camp and like that's all you need is that one opportunity, that one shot to one good impression to make a name for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I got mine. I took mine, ran gratefully. I was able to run with it, and gratefully I'm here where I am today.
Yeah, absolutely. You had 38 points in 59 games that year. So like what led to all that success throughout the year and just to be able to make a name for yourself like we just said.
I mean, it was just a bunch of good guys there. That's the biggest thing there. It was just all the guys. There's great chemistry throughout the team, great camaraderie, and I mean, it honestly led to a lot of my success, a lot of the team's success, and all that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like what was the biggest thing you learned that first year of juniors, especially since it is such a transition period going from AAA into juniors, especially a tier two junior team like the NAL is.
That year, I don't know if I learned as much that year, other than um, just like the difference of the game from youth to junior. It was more my step from there in Port Huron to the USHL the next year that I noticed a huge change in. I mean, I learned a little bit more on how to like take care of my body a little bit better
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. But the big changes were going from the NAL to the USHL, and that was where I learned even more, how to take care of my body and work even harder towards or work the right way, I guess you should say.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a huge change in a lot of that.
Yeah. So like what is working the right way for you and just especially since you learned that going from the NAL to the U show.
Well, it was more so just like proper proper ways to train and that kind of stuff. Or I guess better exercises to do, because I never growing up I never had trainers and all that kind of stuff. Going to like special gyms, can that kind of stuff, or hockey gyms, that kind of stuff. Because I mean, my dad didn't play hockey, so I mean we didn't really know what that kind of stuff was really. So
Yeah. So it's just a learning curve and just
oh
experimenting at that point and just hoping that like through trial and errors to make sure that you get the best training that you can because off season and off ice training is super important, especially as you get up to those levels from junior to college and
big,
especially now in pro.
yeah, big time. And then surrounding yourselves around like the best players and learning that much more in the off season to
Yeah.
prepare yourself for the next season to be that much better.
Yeah, just having those great players there and like a great support system too, as well as like is what's one thing I've learned is huge, is especially going up the pro ranks is just having that support system because not every day is gonna be great, but just to have those people to fall back onto like it makes that much big of a difference.
Oh, big time. Yeah. I mean, just the more people around you, the better.
Yeah, Exactly, 100%. And so, like we're saying in the USHL, you play for the Bloomington Thunder. So, what was the Bloomington Thunder like, and especially like since they were a newer team, I believe at that time as well.
Yeah, so I played in their first season as a team, and and it was like everything. There's a learning curve when it's your first year, and I mean we were a pretty decent team that year, but we fell just short of playoffs. And big thing was our coach Dennis Williams. He was he was a really good junior coach. He was hard on us. He brought out the better side in you as a player, and I think he really knew how to do that. So he was a big help in shaping me in the type of player I'd become. Um, yeah, that was that was a lot of fun. Those 2 years in Bloomington, right on it was ISU's campus. It was yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you got the college campus there. It's just nothing better for a junior team.
Yeah, it was good to kind of mold you into or ease you into college a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we jump into college, like what was that transition from the from the NAL to the USHL? Because it is a bit of a big difference.
Big difference. At the null, you're not playing against as many top tier players.
Yeah,
And the USHL, man, it is fast. Like a lot of good players come out of there, and I mean there's studs. They're quick. They think the game quick. They play the game quick. And it was that was my biggest transition was the speed of the game and like learning how to play at that next level, that next speed, and think the game at that next speed as well.
yeah, exactly. Because that is a big difference from going from the NAL to the USHL. And like you just got to be that much quicker, that much like think of like or like come up with the play, but right like quicker than you were able to in the NAL. So like it's everything's just a step ahead.
Right, exactly. Like
So
instead of being a little off on an angle and like a guy being able to take advantage of it, it's just like that. That that error is there a little bit less.
yeah, exactly. And like they're gonna take that step. Like if you're a little bit behind, like you're done.
Yeah, you're toast.
Yeah, exactly. But then after your 2 years in Bloomington, you go on to Michigan State University to play NCAA Division One college hockey. So like, what was the process like to commit to MSU?
It was long. It was I didn't commit till I think it was February, and it was it happened really quick and like the snap of a finger. I was about to go, or I was talking to Lake State. I was talking to um, Michigan State, and there was Boston College, Western, and I was trying to like figure out where I was going to go on my visits, and it was like Michigan State called me, Western called me while I was on my call or visit at Michigan, and like they're trying to figure out ways to get me in, and it was like after I finished like the tour at MSU, which was probably like within a week, I think after starting to talk to them,
Yep.
it was like I was chose like I fell in love
Yeah.
with the campus. It's beautiful. It was springtime there, so it wasn't as beautiful, but I'd been there before because my sister went there, and yeah, it was I fell in love with it. It was a great campus, great atmosphere. I was there for Super Bowl. It was Super Bowl weekend too, so I was watching Super Bowl with the boys there, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was hard not to fall in love with the campus there.
Yeah, that's awesome. You loved it right from the start, and you got to play 4 years there. It's like, what was that first year like? You got to play in 34 games that first year, so you got right into the fire. So, what was that experience like from your freshman year?
It was yeah, I was thrown right into the fire. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. No, it was great. It was the game. I didn't realize how much stronger I needed to get.
Yeah,
It was like you're running into big boys in college, and honestly, like some guys are 20 or probably like 23, 24 years old. I mean, now it's crazy because guys have taken 3, 4 years with COVID, but um, yeah, it's like that difference in age. Like you really see the difference it makes in development in players, like the way they think the game, and the way how heavy they are. And I realized that pretty quick. And I never really learned to slow the game down in college, like, but I learned to get stronger, and I had to kind of try to change my game a little bit. But yeah, it was, but that was a huge difference. It was just like how big the guys are, and trying to get to that same point with them.
Yeah, and just to be thrown in the fire like that, like it's a great learning experience because like you like as a competitive athlete, like you love to get thrown into those situations. Like it's obviously very hard when you do,
Really
but like
cool.
you learn so much from it, and you're just able to become such a better player out of it and like develop much more quicker than if you just got thrown into like nothing.
Exactly. If you're not thrown into those situations, you're not learning, and the only way to get better is to be thrown in those situations and learn. Because I mean, a lot of times you're not gonna learn them if you're not thrown into them.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that was great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun when you're thrown in those situations, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. I
But
mean, it makes you what you are today.
exactly. But then you go into your second year where you're a little bit more experienced and probably a little more comfortable. So like what was that second year like and just to build on that confidence and everything that you gained from that first year?
It was good. I mean, I don't think my development. I was pretty steady. Pretty much every year it seemed to be about the same. But shoot, I mean, yeah, I mean that year was good. That was the first year with Dan Cole, so there's a lot of change there, and the culture in the room and all that kind of stuff. Um, but he was a really good change for us, and learned a lot of new things from him and his staff, and they were they were good years with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then your junior year, you put up 12 points, and then senior year, you put up your career best 17 points, seven goals, 10 assists. So what was those last 2 years like, and just be able to catch like maybe like professional teams looking at you and all that?
It was, there's that behind, in the back of my head, honestly, thinking, what's going to happen after this? What am I going to do? Am I going to continue to play? Am I going to call it? But, that was a big thing was starting to learn to slow the game down and, um, kind of learn my body and what I needed to be at, to play at my best and all that kind of stuff. And that kind of made a good difference in my game. And but the main thing was kind of starting to learn to slow the game down. But that didn't really happen until a little bit later in my career. So we'll hit on that in a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was starting to be the big difference was learning to play with my head up a little bit more and pick and choose different moments and learn when to go, when not to, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And like throughout like college hockey is some of the most fun hockey you play. So with like all the rivalry games, like the fan sections and all that. So like what was the overall atmosphere around Michigan State University and like especially when you get into those rivalry games against like Michigan or like any other rival team that you guys play?
Oh, it was a blast, and especially when we played Michigan. Some of the big games when the student section was all the way around like goal line to goal line on like behind the net. It was wild how how rowdy it got in there and how loud it got. There were a lot of fun games, and even playing at Yost, there were a lot of a lot of fun games there with like the atmosphere and stuff. Um, there was at Yost one time. It was my wife's birthday, and I she was my just girlfriend at the time. But they went on my Instagram and I posted something before the game, and the whole student section was singing her happy birthday during warm-ups. I look up and she's on the scoreboard like this. Like, get me out of here.
I love college hockey with that because like they'll literally go through anything, any social media, like any part that like you're like any part that's public, like they're gonna find something and just
Oh,
blow you up for it.
yeah, I love it. It's a blast. But yeah, it's hilarious to have stories like that about her and just everything. All the different ones we've seen with teammates and stuff, and it's funny.
Yeah.
It makes college hockey.
Oh yeah. There's no different beast in college hockey, especially when it comes to that part of the game.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
awesome.
yeah. What was the balance like between school and college hockey and then like a social life as well? Because like that's like college is also about like all like the social life, the school, like everything like that.
Yeah, it was cool. I actually had one coach tell me, there's three parts of college. There's school, there's sports, and then there's social life.
Yeah.
But to be really good, you got to pick two.
Yeah.
And it was hard though, especially at Michigan State. There's so much fun around there all the time, and but it was a really good time. Picking and choosing when to go, when not to go, and a lot of good memories there, and yeah, it was a blast though. It was hard to choose, but it was hard to balance school and school
Yeah.
and hockey and the social life,
Balance everything.
especially when there's the boys in your ear, telling you, hey, let's go.
Yeah. The peer pressure is real over there.
Oh yeah, in college, it's hard.
Yeah. A lot of memories are made though, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, honestly hard to remember them all.
Love that. But then after your career at Michigan State University comes to an end, you find yourself getting a pro look with the Kalamazoo Wings in the East Coast Hockey League where you got to play in a game right after your season ended. It's like what was that experience like and just being able to play in a pro game right after your season?
That was cool. That was honestly, it was a whole different type of game. I remember it was like there was less guys coming at you
Yeah.
when you think they really should be, because college hockey, it's just like bang bang bang, like just bodies pounding all the time. Dump it in, bury a guy, dump it in, bury a guy, get
Run and
buried.
gun.
Yeah, and in pro, like all I remember is one time I got the puck out of a scrum in the corner, and I slowly started to skate behind the net, and I had my head up looking like up for our two D men and up into the high slot. I'm like, no one's coming at me. What's going on? I haven't got hit yet. So I tried the Michigan move, and I flipped over my blade, but it was crazy, like how much time I realized I actually truly had. And I didn't know if it was college, like I was just overthinking it all the time and didn't think I had the freedom that I really did,
Yeah.
maybe, but or the space that I really had. But yeah, that one game is when I learned, like, holy smokes, I have way more time than what I thought I had. Like, this is a different game.
Yeah, that's when the game actually starts slowing down. Like I'm sure like that's one of the biggest things that you learn is slowing the game down, especially at the ECHL level.
Yeah, oh, it was wild, and I don't know if that was the turning point or if it was playing in the mill, but it was definitely, that was around the time that it started to come to me and started to slow the game down a lot.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you got to play in that one game in the ECHL, and then you went into, and then 2020, 2021 hit, and this is where you played in the middle. You played for the Gaylord Snow, where you tore up the league there. So like, what was your time in the mill like in Gaylord?
It was a blast. A lot of welcoming guys there. They were a good time. They made hockey fun again. Like truly, like they really made hockey fun for me, and I loved my time there with them. My uncle, I didn't know what the league was at all, honestly, until my uncle was coaching it at first, and he's like, hey, you want to come play some hockey? I'm like, where? And he's like, up in Gaylord. It's like 20 minutes from you. I'm like, all right. Like I show up and I'm like, hey Bobby, like what's going on? And he goes, all right, locker room's back there. I'm like, all right, like no idea what's going on. And I walk in, I'm like, what's going on in here? And like it was this little like it was like a little closet, like honestly, like half of a hotel room, and like just stalls jammed in this room. It was really funny actually. and yeah, it was like guys are like, oh yeah, this is the locker room. It's freezing. We got like three heaters going on. Um, I'm pretty sure they said they had to be careful with it because they would trip the circuits. So a lot of guys
That's
would go
crazy.
drive to like the other locker rooms. But yeah, it was awesome. They made it fun. They made the most of it, and just had a good time with everything. And I made a lot of good friends there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just from experience and playing at Ostego, the arena there, like it is a cold barn, that's for sure. You just gotta
Oh
have those
yeah.
extra layers to warm up, especially if you're in the visiting locker room.
Oh yeah, right in that you're right in the snow belt up there in northern Michigan too. It's
Oh yeah,
a good time. I thought there was a few times I thought about taking my snowmobile from Grayling up to Gaylord for practices.
never did it though.
No, I never ended up doing it, but it would have been a good time.
Yeah, that would have been a cool story for sure. And like this northern Michigan's beautiful as well. So like just to have like all the views and everything, and like it's a lot. I can tell you for sure, it's a lot better than the views in Illinois.
Oh yeah, they're awesome up there. I love just going out on drives up there in northern Michigan just to get out. I was selling real estate during COVID, so that was what brought me up there. It was because my wife's family had a cottage up there, and we ended up moving up there, fixing like the place up, finishing it, and uh, and then just living up there through COVID, and I ended up training up there, and then obviously found out about the mill with Gaylord Snow, and yeah, it was a different lifestyle, that's for damn sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like it was like what was the some of the biggest things that you did learn in the mill, especially since you came off playing that one game in the coast, and like this is like your first like 6, 7 games like in like a professional like organization.
That was sorry. That was biggest thing I learned was be um I don't know, it was just a different type of hockey. So it wasn't like we were practicing every day. And I honestly learned how to, I gotta, you know, take care of myself away from the rink and do my stuff away from the rink as well, even more than what I always have to, because here in Chicago, we have everything we need. We have ice sessions all the time. There we were practicing on the weekends. Like we'd play or maybe practice on Thursday night, and morning skate on Friday. Or no, it was maybe practice on Friday night, and then morning skate on Saturday, play Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah,
And and I was playing every other shift there, so
getting a lot of ice time.
a lot of ice time, and I had to do my stuff away from the rink also, and we didn't have everything there, so I had to bring my stuff in. Remember, I had to bring my towel in instead of having it all there at the rink for you. But yeah, you learn how to be appreciative too of the things you have when you have them and all that, because they take care of you really well some places, and some places, like the mill, they don't have the money to pay for that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It just makes you more appreciative of the things that you do have when you do go other places that maybe like more established and more well known.
yeah,
Yeah.
driving to games across the state 3 hours, and that kind of stuff, driving yourself
See a
compared
lot
to,
of places then.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and you were assistant captain for the Snow as well. So like what was it like being an assistant for Gaylord Snow?
Oh, it was fun. It was basically, I got there, and just the resume I had before, they were like, all right,
Yeah.
what what letter do you want? Do you want this one, or this one? It's funny. the first day, Miles Grix, he I
Beauty.
walked in, yeah, he's hilarious. But I walked in, he looks at me, and later on in the day, or it was probably a week later, he goes, we started chatting, joking around. He goes, I can't lie, when you walked in the room, I looked and I was like, oh, that's what a real skater's body looks like. Yeah, he's hilarious. He was a lot of fun in the room and a good time to be around.
Yeah, absolutely. That's hilarious. But then after that year in Gaylord, you go on to play with Kalamazoo Wings again, where you played 66 games, getting 50 points. So what was that like first official year in the ECHL like?
That was a lot of fun. A lot that whole summer I focused a lot on, whenever I'm shooting, just keep my head up, or whenever I was practicing, as soon as the puck touched my stick, keep my head up,
Yeah.
and it made a huge difference in my game. And ever since, or like after that, I noticed it that huge that year, and just like seeing the net coming down, like watching the goalie, I learned a lot from my goalie there as well. Him and I would chat. He would give me, I'd ask him certain things, or he would tell me certain things about goalies, and I learned a lot from him as well about how goalies set up their pad setups, the way it could affect like where to shoot and that kind of stuff. So yeah, they were. I learned a lot of new things there, and different ways of the game that I didn't expect to learn, and then I learned how to keep my head up a lot better. So that it showed a lot, obviously, that year.
Yeah.
So
And you're not getting toasted when you have your head down. You're able to just tell when guys are trying to come at you and move out of the way or pass the puck before they hit you.
oh yeah, you're not. Yeah, your brain's not as scrambled as what it could be.
Yeah, absolutely. And how far is your hometown from Kalamazoo?
Only about 2 hours, so I mean, it was a really short distance. Being able to have family come out and all that. That was a nice. At the beginning of the year this year, that was the nice thing is my wife's pregnant right now, so she's uh she's been going back and forth, and it was a really easy commute going back and forth from Kalamazoo to the doctors in Southeast Michigan, and now in Chicago. I mean, it's not a bad commute. It's the third closest team in the A, but it's a little dry, but it's not too bad.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
great
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, exactly. But congrats on the newborn coming soon.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but like it must be very nice to like have like family and friends be able to come since it is only like 2 hours away from your hometown. It's like just being able to rep Kalamazoo and just rep like having like your family come like that must be awesome.
Oh yeah, it's awesome being able to spend time with them more often, and then all that kind of stuff. It's I'm really grateful that I can see them, because I mean not many people get to see their family much during
Yeah.
the season. And I've realized, and a lot of people are coming across from different countries, cross from the other side of the United States or up in Canada, and I mean it just you learn to be grateful for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely makes you blessed and grateful to be able to have that like closeness with between Kalamazoo and your hometown.
Yeah, it was a lot of good times. Some of the mill boys still come out and see me, so it makes me happy seeing texts from them. I am
Oh yeah.
coming to your game.
Love that for sure. Always got to rep the mill boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so then this year has been a wild ride for you with playing 10 games with the Kalamazoo Wings in the ECHL, as well as playing 24 games so far with the Chicago Wolves in the American Hockey League. So like how crazy has this year been for you?
It's been honestly the craziest year of hockey I've ever had in my life. I've never been, traded or anything like that in my career, or called up or anything like that until this year. And, now I've been back and forth from Kalamazoo to Chicago, I think 4 times now. So, so it's been crazy, and it's been a wild ride, a great experience, a fun experience. I met a lot of great people along the way, and I'm having a great time with it. So, but it's been great. A lot of learning, on and off the ice, and yeah, a great year of hockey for me, and I've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. So what's it been like in Chicago so far since you've been here for 24 games?
Uh, Quick, a lot of a lot of learning, new systems, new a lot of new names to learn very quick. I thought it was only supposed to be one game at first. My coach called me and, hey, you want to go play one game with the Wolves? And I was like, one game, yeah, sure. I mean, I'll go get my first game in.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're like, all right, yeah, you're going back to we want you to come back to Chicago with us. And we're like, all three. It was me, Cooper, and Hawkins, and we're all like, all right, well, we didn't pack for this, but all right, let's go. So all right, we all went back. We all drove to Milwaukee to play. So we all picked up our spotted cows from
Oh yeah.
Wisconsin, drove back to
That's a must.
yeah, seriously, drove back to Chicago with it. Um, we all had maybe 2, 3 outfits at most, and all of us were there. I think 3 or 4 weeks at least, and then I've been up and down, back and forth, all around, and but it's been great. I mean, you got to make the most of it. If you don't make the most of it, you're not going to have a good time. So why why be miserable over things you can't control? And definitely we made the most of it, had a good time, and
Yeah.
it's been awesome.
Yeah. So like what's been like the biggest thing you learned, especially playing at the AHL level since these are your first 24 games in the American League?
How tight the game is. I mean, just players play you a lot tighter, and you got to learn to play a lot tighter on guys, or else they're going to take advantage of you. And learning, how to take advantage of guys, just being slightly off, or like the minimal times that guys are actually slightly off, or trying to you know make guys put them in a crappy situation so you can take advantage of them or whatever. And it's crazy how fast guys can play the game, and learning how to play quicker while thinking quicker in such a quick time. It's a lot of good hockey players in this league. It's crazy how many players you play with or played against that have played NHL games at this level.
Yeah, there's like little to no room for error. Like everyone's like right on top of you. Like as soon as you get the puck, like that's when you really have to start slowing the game down as well. Especially like when you first get here, like it's gonna be like quick and like your brain's gonna go 100,000 miles an hour. But like once you slow the game down, like I'm sure it gets like a little bit more like simpler as well as just being able to read the plays better.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the more you can slow it down, the more simple it is, and I mean, therefore, that's when you'll be the most productive. So, or play the best, or play the style of the game you want to play most.
Yeah, absolutely. And like this year with the Wolves, you scored 3 goals with the Wolves, and one of those goals was a silky penalty shot goal. So like what was going through your mind throughout in that penalty shot goal against Grand Rapids that you scored?
Oh shit, that was wild. I was honestly, I was my groin was a little sore after that one. The way I got pulled down, he poked me in the back of the foot, and I went spread eagle into the goalie. And so honestly, that one, I was thinking of what way could I, well, either spread him out to slide a 5 hole, or get him to slide out of the net, because I'm not like, it wasn't great ice. Um, Shot was probably the best call. That's what everyone thought
Yeah.
I was going to be doing, since the ice wasn't great. So I was like, maybe try deking something simple, and see if I can just get him sliding. So I came down, tried to show shot to the left side of the net, and just close my blade quick and pull it over my backhand, and slide it in, and it worked. So
You had like an empty net after that. Like the goalie was so far out of the net, you could have probably just put it anywhere and it would have went in.
yeah, I probably could have whiffed if I wanted to.
And it would have snuck it would have still rolled in and snuck its way in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's been definitely been great having you with the Wolves here in Chicago. But I have a few more questions before we wrap things up here.
All right.
So, do you have any tips for players looking to get to that next level?
I mean, honestly, like the biggest thing is you just got to compete.
Yeah,
The more you compete, the more you'll be noticed because the higher your compete level is. I mean, if you're out competing another person, another team, you're going to get noticed.
yeah,
I mean, second of all, just learning how to first practice with your head up as at a player, and then learning how to play with your head up even more often or just quicker. And as soon as that puck hits your blade, snapping your head up and being able to see the ice and observe the ice while you have the puck on your stick. Because I mean, if you're seeing the ice, seeing the game, you're going to be able to control the game.
yeah.
And those are probably my biggest tips for especially young players coming up through the ranks, hoping to play the highest possible level of hockey that they want to achieve.
Yeah, those are some great tips for everyone. Like, you just got it's a game of just picking your head up and being able to see the ice and make plays while keeping your head up and having like
Yeah,
that main focus in front of you.
100%. It's a game of inches. I mean, there's
Yeah,
not much room to make plays, and the more you can learn how to see those little things and learn those little things that players are doing to take advantage of other players, then I mean you can be a dominant player at that point once you learn those things and learn how to execute them.
yeah, absolutely, 100%. My next question is, what's your pregame and postgame routine?
Pre-game, I get to the rink. I'll get to the rink probably about 2 hours and 20 minutes before the game, approximately. Casually get unchanged, so I might get on. Um, Maybe take a cold shower when I get to the rink, depending on how I feel. Go do a little rolling out, little stretching, little bike, um, coffee probably the whole time, water, and those bio steels.
Oh yeah,
And
those are unreal. Those are
oh
amazing.
yeah, they are. Especially the carton ones. The carton ones
Oh
are
yeah,
so much better than the packets.
oh yeah,
But then I'll usually play sewer for a little bit, and then I'll go get dressed for warm ups, and yeah, nothing crazy. I mean, no, like I don't think there's really anything in my like pregame plan that I'm like, oh, I have to do this before a game. If not, I'm gonna be brain dead and won't be able to think out there. So, but yeah, pretty simple. Just like to play my sewer.
oh yeah. Have you won a game of sewer yet?
Yeah, actually, this weekend I won my first game
There we go.
back to
Yeah,
back.
maybe tomorrow you'll win sewer again.
Yeah, seriously, I mean, there were smaller games, but I'll count them in the
Yeah,
wins.
a win's a win.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take them. Take them where I
Yeah.
can get them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What's your post game routine like after game? Like, what are you doing?
Post game usually depends. If we play the next night, I'll get like a rollout, maybe a light bike, depending on the game how it went. But then I'll usually get out and get some food in me pretty quick. Um, but yeah, that same thing. Not much, just pretty chill and nothing crazy. Some guys are hitting the bike hard or hitting like a hard little workout, and I'm like,
Yeah,
you just play a game, like go
that's your workout right there.
rest. Yeah, get a stretch in the morning, you'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Always got to get a stretch in the morning after a game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
must.
but oh yeah, absolutely. But my next question is like, what's your favorite thing to do in Michigan?
In Michigan, I love camping. I got my wife and I got a 30-foot camper, like to pull behind my truck. And yeah, we love going out exploring. This summer we're going out to Holland on the west side of Michigan, out by Muskegon. Doing a little camping trip there. We're planning on going to do the UP waterfall tour. We're really looking to hit a lot of it this summer. But I love to go on like little hikes and stuff. And living in northern Michigan, we went to Mackinac Island a couple times and did like the bike around the island and like the walk up to like all the rocks and like looking out on the water.
Yeah,
And I love that kind of stuff. Doing getting out and seeing nature and
all the outdoorsy stuff.
just seeing. Yeah, exactly. Just seeing life.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. And just whatever like you do like off season, like away from the rink, like that what makes you want to get back into the rink, especially when your mind is all like refreshed after all doing like all the nature stuff, like whatever.
yeah, and like in the summer, I'm also working at this hockey gym, so I get a lot of time in the rink still. So like any chance I get to get out, I love my chances to take. So
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's good for you and good for the body to get away from the rink.
yeah, so anyone listening to this, they're in the Southeast Michigan area or south side of Toledo, check out Pillar Fitness.
There
It's a
we go.
good hockey gym. You got the synthetic ice, shooting lanes, skating treadmill, at the gyms, all that kind of stuff. So tons of stuff, CrossFit, burn classes, the
Oh
whole
yeah,
nine yard.
go check it out. Lots to do there.
Oh yeah, tons of stuff.
Yeah, but what's been your favorite thing to do in Chicago? Like when you have an off day, like what are you doing? Like I know you're stuck in the hotel most of the time, but like when you get out of the hotel.
Um, Not much. I went down to the city once, down to around Christmas time. I felt like I was at the mall, either the mall here or the outlet malls over in Rosemont every other day, just like trying to do Christmas shopping. But um, I don't know. I haven't really gotten out and explored like outdoorsy much around here. But I don't know. Just getting out in general, just walking around. I've found enjoyment in. So
Yeah, absolutely. Just do whatever you can to enjoy yourself while you're in Chicago.
yeah, I need to find something. It just takes an hour to get down to the city sometimes. So it's like I don't feel like spending that time going down there to go walk the coast or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that for sure. And then my final question is, what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie right now I've been big into the Marvels
Oh,
and I've been trying to watch all those in the order that they're like timeline order.
yeah.
So I've enjoyed those. The Iron Mans I've enjoyed a lot. I
Oh
think
yeah.
those are probably about the top. Just just ahead of Harry Potter. I just finished those too. So I've had a ton of time to catch up on my movies
Yeah, just
recently.
watching tons of movies every single day.
Oh yeah, literally. I'm honestly I could probably watch one a day if I really wanted to, but
That's crazy.
I gotta, yeah, I gotta stay away from it.
Yeah, but enjoy those relaxing times when you can get them. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I won't have them much longer. That's for sure. About
Oh
a month.
yeah. But Logan, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you coming on the show, and I want to wish you the best of luck going forward, whether that be in Chicago while you're still here or in Kalamazoo. I want to wish you the best of luck and good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thanks, Jack, and thanks for having me.